The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. I'm honored to have you joining us again. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome. We are excited to be connecting with you today on Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. We are committed to helping equip and empower you. We want to pour into you so that you can go back out into the world nourished, equipped, empowered, and hopefully taking some additional information and wisdom with you. We have a wonderful show that I just feel so timely for all that is going on today. This is perfect time for us to connect, lean in, heart to heart. So I want to thank you for joining us, and let's just take a moment and breathe. And I'm talking about real breath, not just in the lungs, but all the way to the very belly of us, really expanding that belly. Wonderful. I'm going to invite you to keep breathing richly, really bring that oxygen in as you're joining us today so that you can be fully present. When we breathe like that, not only does it nourish us on our cellular level, it actually calms us down. It can lower our cortisol levels, our stress levels, helping us actually be ready to receive, open, and present. I'm going to encourage you to resist multitasking during our time together. Resist the urge to check your emails, cross things off the list, run off during the breaks. Really stay present, because it is not an accident that you are here today, that you are leaning in and saying yes. I find life gets so busy. We get pulled so many directions. And that you are here today means there is something here for you. And I want you to receive it. So breathe that in. Wonderful. Some of the things that we're going to talk about today, just so you have a preview, you can be leaning in and looking forward to it, is we're going to be talking about stress. We're going to be talking about speaking, about being a leader, bringing things forward. And when there are so many things that we hear about in the news, so many things that are challenging that we navigate through on every single day of our life, there's a lot of wonderful things too that we can sometimes miss in the busyness, in the to-do list, in some of the news that we're hearing out there. And if we don't deliberately pause, deliberately choose what we will receive into our life, what we're going to devote time, energy, and attention to, it can be decided for us. So I'm going to invite you, as we lean into the conversation today, to really think about what you're allowing into you, into your mind, into your body, into your soul and spirit. What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you feeding yourself? What are you receiving into you? Because that becomes part of us and part of how we are out there in the world. And if we're watching or spending energy on things that are stressful, we're going to be more stressed. But if we can deliberately pause and build in beauty, build in breathing, build in relaxing, spending time on things that nourish us, that feed our soul, that feed our spirit, we're going to be calmer, We'll be more effective. We'll be more of who we want to be out in the world. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be sharing about a book that has been released in the Kindle version, and in the next 24 to 48 hours will be released in the print version. So we're very excited about that. And we have some tools and resources that we're going to share that can pour into you, that can support you and nourish you, that we're going to share about throughout our time together. So I do invite you to maybe grab a paper and a pen so you can take a couple notes as we go along, because I want you to receive everything that is here for you today, and I want you to have those tools and resources. So as you go back out into the world, you remember it is not a solo journey. We are not meant to do everything on our own. And right now we are connecting heart to heart, life to life, and pouring into each other. We are walking beside you, cheering you on, and want to encourage you on your journey. So one of the books that we're going to be talking about today is The World of Roses and Dogs. And as I go out there in the world, I find those are some of the favorite things that people have. Flowers and animals, and there can be so much beauty and wisdom and joy that we can receive into our life when we lean into that world, when we lean into what can be right in front of us. So I'm going to encourage you to be willing to lean into you, to be willing to receive, be willing to think about what is it that will encourage you, that will nourish you, that lifts your spirits. I had the opportunity to read this beautiful book that we're going to share about a little bit later on a plane as I was traveling, and there's a lot of beautiful pictures in this book. And so I had printed it out, was reading it and reviewing it, and I was in that middle seat on the plane, and you know how close you are with your neighbors on a plane. And so it was a longer flight, and I needed something that would just kind of relax me and bring me focused into my zen and happy place. And I thought, this is the moment to review this beautiful book that Rosalyn, the author, has entrusted me with. So as I read and reviewed it, people were peering over my shoulder and starting to point to the pictures. And they liked this one, and that reminded them there were stories that were attached to it. And before I knew it, not only was our whole row feeling calm, relaxed, happy, connected, and joyful, but there were people leaning over from the other side wanting to know what was going on, and behind us they were talking about it. It was spreading out in this really powerful, beautiful way. And I feel like we have that opportunity every day. How are we connecting? What are we echoing out in the world? What are we sharing and enjoying? And if we take a moment to think about that, what is it that you want to be, that you want to share for your passing here in this world, in this life? What do you want to be known for? What is the difference that you want to make? When someone thinks of you, do they smile? Do they think of you stand for this? Do they have that same story or memory attached to you that you've left an imprint on their life in that way? And if so, what would you want that imprint to look like, to feel like, to be? Is it stressed and you got a lot of things done? Or is it you were really present, part of their life, walked beside them in this particular way, taught them something, carried them during a difficult part of their life? What is it, the imprint that you want to leave in this world, that you are called to make? Because you are the one that can choose that. You can choose what you echo out. They get to choose what they receive. You get to choose what you echo out. So let's take a moment. Those of you who are driving, please stay safe, both hands on the wheels. No texting and driving, just inwardly tuning in. Those of you who are able to, sit back in your chair, feel it supporting you. Both feet on the floor. Take one of those big belly breaths. Beautiful. Close your eyes. You're safe. One hand on your heart, one hand on your head. Wonderful. Bringing all of you in, mind, body, soul, and spirit, and in this quiet space. What is it that you need today to be more of who you want to be, how you want to be, what you want to bring forth? What is it that you need today that will equip and empower you? And ask the question with curiosity and see what information you receive. It can come in a memory, a sound, a fragrance, a tune, a knowing. Receive that information however it comes. Great. And then I'm going to ask a second question here. So now you've identified some of what you need. Second part of that, are you willing to receive it? Those are different questions. So what you need and are willing to receive. And just see if that shifts things a little bit, if that fine-tunes it. And receive that information. Beautiful. Take a breath, come back into the room, eyes open. Beautiful. And I invite you to write that information down. So we should have that paper and pen to the side there. I want you to write that down. Top of mind. It's so easy to get distracted, to go back out into the world and have forgotten what it is that you need and are willing to receive. I want you to keep it top of mind and be actively on the lookout for it. Unattached to the how. This isn't how. Not the form, but the willing to receive and lean in. So that when that information, the opportunity, whatever it is, the thing you need presents itself in front of you, you will see it and receive it. Let's breathe that in. Wonderful. And I'm going to take a moment to go around our virtual room here. And I'm going to ask our guest to just share if there was something when we paused and we listened that was laid upon her heart. So, Rosalyn, I would love to have you share anything that was laid on your heart when we paused and listened.
Well, I'm here at a class. I teach at a high school, and students in today's world are always worried about their grades of, what is and what isn't. And I said, well, I was here last class, and I delivered a speech. And, that wasn't the first time I gave that speech. I gave it like 6 to 7 times, and even though I thought it was perfect here, I got home and I didn't have it, and I had to go do it again. And when I was in graduate school, you had 2 ways of passing. You wrote a paper or you took a test. And I took a test, and I said, and I didn't pass it the first time. And I said, Rosalyn, there's many things that you could learn, but you just got to do this because it's going to change your life. And I said, so when you get the grade that you're getting, and it's not the way you want it to be, we all have the ability to change. Nothing is permanent. And, being able to show them something in the here and the now of, public speaking doesn't just happen and we've got all these other ones and it was only that many points. Or, these tests that we take in life, am I going to get this degree? Am I going to get that degree? And if we don't succeed at first, we try again. And, it goes to life is never too short. If you can't learn from your mistakes, you get to do them all over again. And so you just keep up the open mind. It's not a failure. It's just a chance to go back and rework it. And I think that would be the key that I'd say to anybody, because we all have our challenges in the world. No one has a straight line to success to the top. But we're given opportunities, and then nothing in life is an accident. And so if we see the same thing that we saw before, what are we going to do differently this time to get a different reaction? And that's kind of what came to me.
No, I love that, because sometimes we can put so much pressure on ourselves. It has to be a certain way, and then we see it as a failure when perhaps the first time out it didn't come across that way, or the second time out. And just a reminder that at any point we can learn and grow and do again. We can rewrite the story. We can start now. We can't go back in time, so dwelling in the past is not going to serve, but we can absolutely go forward. Now, beautiful, beautiful share. And I love that. Nothing's permanent. Like, we can keep growing and expanding and sharing. Listeners, what was laid on your heart? What is it that's speaking to you? A truth, something to remember, something to encourage you, something that you need today. And as we go into our first commercial break, here's how this works. These are actually 2 minutes for you. These are 2 minutes carved out of the show, and we've carved them out multiple times during the show, so you can actually process the information that is being shared with you or spoken to you and within you real time on a cellular level. So during these next 2 minutes, I invite you to stay present, really explore what it is that you need and are willing to receive, and process that on a cellular level. And when we come back, we're going to have a deeper conversation with our amazing guest and dig into some insights, tools, and resources to support you on your journey. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Voice America Women. Your passion starts here. Tune in to the Just Jan TV show at justjantvshow.com. Visionary women's leader Jan Jorgensen is inspiring, practical, and visionary. Jan brings us everyday transformational emerging leaders, courageously changing the world by speaking and living their truth. Sit around the table with us for profound feminine wisdom, insights, and connection. Be sure to join us at justjantvshow.com. New episodes are every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time at justjantvshow.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
For women, the pressure to achieve is stronger, the work hours longer, and the struggle for respect and authority more complex than ever. You want guidance on how to succeed, and you are not alone. You're invited to take your coffee break with Game Changers on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern for our special series, Game Changing Women. Powerful women leaders will help you make sense of it all, analyze how you can change the game, and share their playbooks. Game Changing Women, presented by SAP on the Business Channel.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
For women, the pressure to achieve is stronger, the work hours longer, and the struggle for respect and authority more complex than ever. You want guidance on how to succeed, and you are not alone. You're invited to take your coffee break with Game Changers on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern for our special series, Game Changing Women. Powerful women leaders will help you make sense of it all, analyze how you can change the game, and share their playbooks. Game Changing Women, presented by SAP on the Business Channel.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog, Press Pass? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective. Plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at vapresspass.com. That's vapresspass.com. VA Press Pass by Voice America. All access, all the time.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network wherever you go. In addition to listening live, you can check out information about your favorite talk show hosts, discover new talk show personalities, add shows to your list of favorites, and listen to all our show archives on demand. All from your iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market, and get ready to tune in. The Voice America mobile app, powered by Aircast.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those moments just for you. We get so hectic and busy in life that we can forget to pause and just take a moment to breathe, recenter, focus, and lean into who we want to be, how we want to be, and to receiving those things that we need. We can frequently be really good at giving, but not always at receiving. So it's great to build that muscle as well, the pausing and breathing muscles, as well as the receiving. Oh, wonderful. Excited to have you back as we lean into a deeper conversation. And we're going to be talking about a number of things, some books that are available and out there to support you, and we want to let you know about those, as well as some advice and tips if you're a messenger, an expert, an influencer that is looking to reach more people, is stretching and growing. You're going to come up against your boundaries at times, against yourself, almost, your edges. And today our amazing expert has beautifully and powerfully worked through so many of those things and now helps others get their message out. So let me share a little bit about our expert. So Rosalyn Kahn, who you got to meet from a heart level in our opening segment, is a college professor, a public speaking instructor, a speech coach, author, motivational speaker, TEDx stage speaker multiple times, and a coach helping others step into that TEDx space. And she's absolutely passionate about helping reduce stress and empowering messengers, influencers, speakers to improve their presentation skills, increase their income, and touch more lives. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Rosalyn Kahn to the stage. Welcome!
Hey, how you doing?
Glad to have you. I believe this is a stage. I want you to feel completely at home with us. So welcome.
Oh, yeah, it is awesome. Yeah, it is so wonderful to be here with you. I've been trying to tell all my friends in the world and, to come on, check in, and get stuff like that. So it's great to finally be here with you. I know that we met at the California Women's Conference, it seems like ages and eons ago. And yet here we are.
Yep. I love it. And I loved how when we met there was just a connection. And listeners, you know how that happens. You can go and there can be thousands of people around, and there's just someone that draws you that you feel a connection with on a heart level, on an energetic level. And I felt like that was kind of our experience. So I've enjoyed deepening that connection over these months. And now we get to be on the same show together. So excited to have you. Welcome, welcome. And I wanted to start our conversation about why. Why is this work of helping people, particularly around their speaking. Why is that personally so important to you?
Well, I believe that everybody has a message in their heart they want to share with the world. And they've got to share it with the world. I heard someone last night in a Coach Masters of Public Speaking group saying that she was a megaphone. She was a megaphone for this disease that she didn't pronounce to the rest of the group. It's the person who can never go to sleep, who can't consciously go to sleep and stay asleep. They're always awake. They're always awake, and they're always alert. And as she got into this speech, and she was going ahead and talking, these people need a voice because they can't go ahead and do it. So if I can go ahead and share with the world, Samantha was out there telling us what we needed to do and how we needed to go ahead and get involved. And everybody, doesn't matter who they are, has something they're passionate about. But they'll all stop because they can't get up in front of a group and do it.
I love this speak. This is the willingness. I hear this strong willingness to be that voice, to stand in that place, to echo out and share out things that need to be shared. And I think it's a really sacred calling and honor and responsibility that we can lean in and be willing to stand in that space and to share and echo out those things that need to be heard, that need to be shared. And this work that you do to help those messengers that are willing, those experts that are called so that they can be heard and understood is truly beautiful. So I appreciate the work that you do in the world.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Now, I know that you have recently, over the summer, published a book called World of Roses and Dogs, How to Reduce Stress in These Troubled Times. And I would love for you to share why this book called to you, why you felt led to bring it forth, and what your vision is for it.
Well, thank you so much for asking me that question. It's actually Dogs and Roses, but it's okay. Who's counting? The book was created out of a sad place, and I was depressed, and I had this life coach, and he asked me this question. He said, what truly makes you happy in the world? And I quickly said, dogs and roses. And he says, you got to go out and find these ways to get them in your life. And, you said, well, what was it calling to you? What was it saying to you? I look at dogs and I say, they're the person from upstairs of whichever religion you believe that's talking to you. And so my eyes became a magnet. It doesn't matter where there is. It's like I see it. It's like I'm walking in a park, and out of the corner of oh my God, there's a dog. I was at a restaurant one night, and it was kind of dim, and over across on the other table over there was a person who had a cup that had a dog on it. And my eyes just zeroed in on it. And they just bring you immense happiness. Anytime you spend time with a dog, it's like it takes your mind from where you are to the other side. I mean, I read this piece this morning, and they say that nothing in life is ever an accident. Yes. And the piece was from this book. It's called The Silence is Spoken. And in it, it goes ahead and it talks about the value of what a dog is in your life. And it goes ahead and it says something like a dog is always upbeat. It never has any stress. It never has any worries. It never has any concern. It's that calm and cool voice that never has too much on its plate. And yet when you look on the other side and you look at the human, it's because the companion is that human. It's always on the go. It can never sit still. It's got 5 things on their plate. It's always worried. It's always anxious. It's always on the next thing. And isn't it amazing that its companion is his dog? He never complains. And how is it it's able to state that calm, cool, collect state and be all that it is? Well, there's that craziness that surrounds it of its loving master. Oh, here's the exact words. The playfulness and joy of a dog is unconditional love and readiness to celebrate life at any moment. Often contrasts sharply with the inner state of the dog's owner, depressed, anxious, burdened by problems, lost in thought, not present in the only place and the only time there is, here and now.
Wow.
One wonders, living with this person, how does the dog manage to remain so sane, so joyous?
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And I think there is so much that we can learn, and we'll miss it if we forget to pause and to look and to receive. And I love how you're on the active lookout for dogs and roses. So thank you for that correction, dogs and roses. I want to make sure we're sharing the correct title. But I want to step to the side here just for a moment because we actually have a caller, and I wanted to give her an opportunity. She has a question for you, Rosalyn. So
sure.
If we could have our caller join us, we'd love to welcome you to the show and have you ask your question.
Hello, this is Louis. How you doing, Ms. Kahn?
Hey, Louis. How you doing, my good friend?
Good. My question was, we met in a cruise, going to Cuba this past summer, and you were discussing with me about your book, and then we talked about my pets because I happen to be a veteran, and I share my views on how my dogs help me deal with some of my trauma as far as comforting and just, they just know cues, the dogs know cues. Whenever I was down, they'll come and cheer me up and stuff. And I was wondering, have you been able to add some of that to your book?
Oh, my God. There's almost tears in my eyes as I hear your voice. We went on this cruise, and Louis and I probably met 20 or 30 people, and of the 2 people I remain in contact, one of them is Louis. And so it was in the conversation with Louis that he told me that my whole direction of donating part of the proceeds to vets came to life. And it was Louis was saying that when he came back, that his wife worked long hours. They came out of the military, and he had this beautiful house, and he didn't want to get the carpet dirty. He didn't want to get the house dirty or messy. And yet he was suffering from PTSD. And he decided with this long depression that he had, he'd get this dog, and the dog so much loved him. And it was amazing. And he said, what's really sad is you're in South Carolina, correct?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Oh, north, south, it's all the same in my world. It's the Carolinas. But back in North Carolina, there's lots of vets that get these dogs, and then when they have to go back and serve, they're taken back to the kilter shelter, and they're gone. And isn't there a place that you can go and take them or protect them? And he said no. And I then at that point, in that decision, as my book was in the process, I said, I want to create a shelter, a foster care program for dogs so that when somebody goes to the military, they're actually able to have a place for them. And so since the last time we talked, you don't know this, Louis, but I'm working with one of the colleges that I have, and one of the colleges, the people at El Camino, and the veterans there have said that they want to work in forces with me to go out and make that happen. We had spoken several weeks ago, and I figured we'd just go to a dog shelter in the last email I got. So no, I really want to move forward on making this vision happen, and they're on my list of 1 million people to call, but there's other pictures of vets in the book when you see it. There's a guy whose name is
And Rosalyn, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but we do have to go to commercial break here. So I apologize, but I do need to honor that flow. So listeners, take this as a cliffhanger. We're going to continue the conversation in just a moment. But I want you to think about something that really struck me as Rosalyn and Louis were talking about, that a conversation happened. They stayed in touch, and there was a challenge or a problem, a gap that they saw. And they didn't just leave it as this gap. They pursued bringing a solution and have continued that conversation to help fill that gap. And I want you to think about in your lives, are there some things that you're seeing out there that are touching your heart that you are wanting to fill that gap? And the more people you let know, the more people you share about that with, the more people that can join you. And you may feel your heart being touched with what's being shared today. I hope so. We're going to let you know how you can access this book as we continue on in our conversation, and know that some of the proceeds are going to resolve and solve this very issue. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
The Voice America Women's Channel, where your success is limitless.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter, Speaker Talent Search, is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Relationship issues? Anxious? Parenting challenges? No more. Learn to live your best life. Tune into Straight Talk with top therapist, relationship and anxiety expert Sandra Reich. Learn to transform your challenges into effective solutions. Whether it's relationships, parenting, anxiety, or other traps, Sandra will show you how you can live the life of your dreams. Listen live every Thursday afternoon at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Health and Wellness Channel.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog, Press Pass? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective. Plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at vapresspass.com. That's vapresspass.com. VA Press Pass by Voice America. All access, all the time.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com and make the most of an incredible life transformation. Follow us on Twitter at Voice America. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's Voice America TRN.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you and really thought about what are some challenges and gaps that you're seeing out there, and what can you do to start closing that gap, to bring that cause forward, to share the message so that we can bring more people together. We all have that opportunity every single day. And during the last segment, we had one of our listeners call in, which is great, Lewis, and it was wonderful to hear he and Rosalyn connecting, and that they'd gone on this, they had met and then stayed in touch, and they were doing that very thing of seeing a need with these animals and looking to fill that gap. And Lewis, we want to thank you for calling in and sharing with us. And we heard, we had our technician check in, that we answered your questions. So I'm glad that we were able to do that, and do appreciate you calling in. And what Rosalyn was sharing is that she's now found additional resources and people and organizations to lean in and help close that gap. And some of the proceeds from her book are going to go to help fund that and support these dogs so that they can keep living a vibrant life even when their owners have to go back into service there. So I'm really excited to hear that. And Rosalyn, we've talked a lot about your book, and I wanted to let people know how they can find it. So
okay, well, there's a couple ways. First way is they can go to my webpage, rosalynkahn.com, and that's ROSALYN. Last name is KAHN. And there's a link there that takes you right there to Amazon, and then you can go to Amazon, and if you go to Amazon and you put in the title, it'll come right up. That's,
perfect.
Right now for the Kindle, if you just put in Kindle and you put Dogs and Roses, it's right there. And Beautiful. Like I said, in the next 48 hours, the color book will be out there that I've seen and people just absolutely love.
Very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so listeners, that is going to Amazon and you'll look up Dogs and Roses and you'll see that in the Kindle version. And then within the next 24 to 48 hours, we were talking about that behind the scenes before the show, the print version will be coming out in full color and just really, really beautiful pictures, just warm your heart, draw you in, and reduce stress, which is great because then you can be fully present and get that boost throughout the day and could just be an amazing gift for the holidays that are coming up. So very excited to celebrate your book coming forth and sharing. And I know, because I've published several books, I know it is an undertaking. And it takes a lot to go from an idea to producing it to following all the way through and getting it published and shared out there. And I was wondering, Rosalyn, if you had a piece of advice that you could share with people on one of two areas. One, if they see that gap and they're looking to take action and fill it, if you have an idea or suggestion on that. And secondly, for those writers that have that idea, a tip or advice to bring it forward.
Well, the first one you said is when you have a gap and then to go ahead and move forward. Those are the two questions. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
Okay. The first one that I believe that was stated to me by several people I work with, one of them is Lee Wright, and he's the right coach, and he's worked with me a long, long time on both of my books, and he went ahead and said the following, that when you're going ahead and you're writing a book, the first thing is to get that idea out where, maybe it's simple notes that you have that you put on little Post-it notes, and you spread the Post-it notes all around. And the key to any process, whether it's writing or speaking or anything like that, is putting things down and then going ahead and coming back to them so that you can look at it in retrospect. Because, as we know, the first draft is never absolutely the best, and you want to have that break so you can go back and see it as a whole. And that would be my first advice on filling that. And the second one is moving forward. No book is ever written by yourself. You've always got to have a team of players with you. And so, there was, the first person who went ahead and looked at it and gives you the content view. There's another person who goes ahead and gives it the editorial view. And you got to have 3 to 5 eyes that go ahead and look at it. And then there's a person who goes ahead and looks at the pictures. And I must have had 5 or 7 people tell me how to design the book. And I came back and said, well, do I want to do this or do I want to do that? And I decided to go this way. And, there's so many different people. It just to let people know it could cost anywhere from $4,000 to $25,000 in terms of going ahead and making it happen. You got to figure out what your budget is. And they say that not everybody goes ahead and sells a bestseller. I know a number of your books have been a bestseller, and I want to follow in your footsteps, but you got to ask yourself why and what's the purpose. And I think that was one of the things that you asked me was what was the intent and the purpose of my book. And
yes,
it's really about this. We live in such a rush and hurry world in today's world, and no one has time to stop and smell the coffees or the flowers or anything like that. And if there's one sentence, it would be to get inside yourself to realize what truly is the most important thing and to focus on that.
Yes.
And, the second image of my book, and I thought about this so much recently, it's about the roses. And a rose isn't just a rose. On the top, it has this beautiful blossom, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And on the bottom, it's filled with thorns. And it's just like life. You didn't get through elementary school by just going ahead and doing your homework. You had the little buddies who weren't nice to you, and your mommy was nagging at you. And you got there, and you didn't get through college by just getting the grades because there was the pressures of the girlfriends and the boyfriends and paying the bills and so on and so forth. And in every good day in life, there's always things that don't go your way. And it's never 100% completely on that way. And it seems like every day that I'm at the happiest of the happiest of the happiest, there's something else that goes wrong. And it's what do we choose to celebrate? What do we choose to go ahead and look at? And the last example is one that's near.
And actually, I'm gonna come back for that. We'll share that last example. When we come back, we do need to take that next commercial break here, and I want to encourage listeners to really think about that. What are you choosing to focus on? What are you choosing to bring forward? And sometimes we can focus on the thorns versus the blossom. And I want to encourage you, be aware of the thorns, but focus on the blossoms and the beauty and what matters to you that you want to bring forth. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
The Voice America Women's Channel.
Tune in to the Just Jan TV show at justjantvshow.com. Visionary women's leader Jan Jorgensen is inspiring, practical, and visionary. Jan brings us everyday transformational emerging leaders, courageously changing the world by speaking and living their truth. Sit around the table with us for profound feminine wisdom, insights, and connection. Be sure to join us at justjantvshow.com. New episodes are every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time at justjantvshow.com.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network wherever you go. In addition to listening live, you can check out information about your favorite talk show hosts, discover new talk show personalities, add shows to your list of favorites, and listen to all our show archives on demand. All from your iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market, and get ready to tune in. The Voice America mobile app, powered by Aircast.
The Voice America Women's Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you. And Rosalyn was sharing just before a commercial break a couple of examples about how we can choose what we focus on and how life really has this mixture of the blossoms, the beauty, and the thorns, and how do we choose to navigate through that. And it really touched my heart around a book that we recently released. And so I wanted to make you aware of that as well. So we've been talking a lot about Rosalyn's beautiful book, Dogs and Roses, that is available on Amazon, on Kindle, and within the next 24 or 48 hours in print. We also recently released a book on September 15th called Bloom Where You Are Planted and Shine. And so it does tap into that concept of blooming and shining and choosing to show up in the world in that way, no matter what. And we have a lot of choice in that. So I wanted to make you aware of that. You can find it both in Kindle and print if you are wanting that tool to support you. We have almost 30 authors, I believe it's actually 30 exactly, that have leaned in to share with you tools, tips, and wisdom on how to do that. in a practical and profound way. You'll find it on Amazon, Kindle, and print. You do need to type the whole title to find it. It's Bloom Where You Are Planted, and Shine has a beautiful red flower on the cover, and we'd love to make that tool available to you. Now, as we continue this conversation and we're coming to the end of our time together, it's just gone so quickly, I wanted to make sure that we gave Rosalyn the opportunity to share that second example with us. So, Rosalyn, I wanted to hand the floor over to you so that you could share that second example that was on your heart.
Okay, the second example was from yesterday's news. When I got to my car after going to the gym, I noticed all over the thing was this huge tragedy that had happened.
Yeah.
And I'm a very sensitive person, and so the tears started coming out of my face as I listened to that story. And as I asked myself the question why, the very next story was the top of the news where 3 Americans won Nobel Peace Prizes in medicine. And I went home and I put a post up on Facebook, and I said, are we going to choose to listen to this, or are we going to go ahead and celebrate that? Because in every tragedy in the world, there's something on the other side, just like the servicemen are going out and giving their heart and their passion to people who are doing good. And that's the example I was going to share.
Yes, that we can really, really choose what we're going to focus on and give more intention and energy, and our hearts absolutely go out to all of those affected in Las Vegas and Nevada, and just really sending love and support. But also, as we go forward, where are we going to put our attention that is going to be on things that matter to us? It's going to fill those gaps. It's going to bring forth beauty, and celebration is so key and so important. So I love that even on a day where you're receiving news like that you're walking the talk and you found something to celebrate and echo out to, that you were able to hold both. And that's really, really beautiful, Rosalyn.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, it's what the world is made of. It's what we choose to focus on that really says it all.
Exactly. It does. It does. And as we come to a close with our time together today, I wanted to, for a moment, just pause and breathe together. And I wanted to give you an opportunity, if there was something on your heart, a final tip or piece of advice that our listeners in 30, 60 seconds that they could hear and you could share with them to bring forth in the world, to carry with them as they go back out into the busyness of life. What is it you would like to share?
Well, I would share, in my world, it's dogs and the roses that bring me immense happiness. That if you go out in your path, everyone is going to see a dog somewhere in their daily path. And stop for just a second and look at that expression on that face and ask yourself, is everything I'm thinking about that important? Or does what that dog is expressing on that face make it matter? The second thing is, there's roses in the world. Everywhere you go, they're not in hibernation yet. Simply going up and smelling or holding the bud of a rose. I'm the neighborhood gardener, and I'm pruning everyone's yards, and I'm leaving them on doors. It's just a wonderful process. Life is simple if you enjoy the things that bring you true happiness. For me, it's the dogs and the roses. It's waking up in the morning and seeing the sun shining through the clouds. It's the at night going ahead and watching the sunset come out. And I can't capture everyone by beauty, but there's things in each and every one of our lives, if we just open up our minds and our hearts, that we can celebrate and we can acknowledge and we can bring ourselves that happiness and peace, because that other stuff is still going to exist. What do you choose to celebrate? What do you choose to remember? And every day I write down my list of gratitudes, and that's what keeps me going forward.
Beautiful.
Celebrate the good in life and just keep it going.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And that reminder that we have choice. We can choose what we focus on. We can choose what we're documenting and echoing out and remembering. And I love that you have this practice of sharing it out, of documenting and building beauty and celebration into your life every day. And listeners, we have that choice. We can choose what we're going to focus on, what we're going to celebrate. what we're going to say that matters, what we're going to bring into our life to nourish us so we can give and serve and shine out there. But we've got to make sure we're being mindful of what we're pouring into ourselves, of what we're focusing in on, what we're receiving into us, and then what we are acknowledging, what we are choosing to echo out into the world, to share out into the world. So I want to challenge you today. I want to challenge you to find 3 things to celebrate. I want to encourage you to find 3 things to share with another, 3 positive things that you can pour into another life, that you can echo out. And the extra credit bonus opportunity is that you can choose to do this every day, every week. We get to choose who we are becoming every day, every moment, and what we are choosing to share out in the world. We are building our lives moment by moment, day by day, heart by heart, week by week, year by year. Build something that matters to you. That wherever you go, whatever you do, may you always, always be willing, choose to bloom where you are planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone. Talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.